Hello.
Hi Tilly, thank you for taking the time.
With pleasure.
Where are we right now?
Here you are in my office.
And what happens in this building in one sentence?
We make legislation for the European citizens in order to improve their daily life.
How did it feel when you first walked in here as an MEP?
Oh, I had the feeling this is a bee's hive or an ant nest, very dynamic, high-speed politics.
Was it more impressive or rather intimidating at first?
Rather impressive, very impressive, I would even say.
Coffee before a plenary session, is it mandatory?
At least one, yes.
And describe your daily life here in 3 words.
It's full of suspense. You never know what's going to happen. It's a lot of teamwork and it's orientated to the future.
What surprises people most about your job?
I think the rhythm of the work, high-speed politics, as I said.
And what surprised you the most?
That there are so many young people in this house. This very young, progressive dynamic here in this house.
Is EU politics as dramatic as national politics?
It is at least as dramatics. We have in the plenary special chairs that you cannot throw to each other.
So debates get really heated.
Oh yes, it can be very heated, and especially since the elections, yeah.
And for people who don't follow EU politics, what exactly does the EU Parliament do?
We work on legislation. We are the directly elected of the people, and we work on legislation in order to protect citizens, in order to make better EU laws and not 27 different laws, in order to be more efficient also.
And what's the biggest myth about Brussels?
The biggest myth is like we live in a bubble here and that we earn a lot of money, and I think those are myths, yeah.
Oh, hey Tilly, what's your coffee order?
Double espresso without sugar.
And can you tell me the difference between the Parliament and the Commission?
The Commission is like a European government, indeed.
And how does the Council fit into the whole picture?
The Council represents the member states.
How much power does the Parliament really have?
Oh, more and more power. I mean, 30, 40 years ago, it didn't have so much power, but now we have even more and more power also from the daily life of the people. And and it's also what the citizens want. The citizens want for Europe to have more power.
So the Parliament can block laws?
Oh, yes, definitely.
And how hard is it to find a majority with 27 countries?
Yeah, democracy takes time, but it is challenging, but it's also very rewarding once you have a compromise.
So is a compromise more frustrating or rewarding?
Rewarding once you have it.
What would you say is the most important skill as a member of the European Parliament?
Listen to the citizens and listen to each other in order to find the compromises.
How much patience do you need on a scale from 1 to 10?
A lot of patience. I would say at least 8, especially for a nervous, impatient person. Yeah.
What got you into politics?
I got into politics because I wanted to make life more just for the people. I wanted to fight all abuse of power. Yeah, I think that was it mainly.
Was there a specific moment that motivated you?
Whoops. My mother used to tell me, you are a rebel, but if you want to change something, you have to be in the system.
And are you ever able to completely switch off?
I learned this from my team, I must say, not to feel guilty when I disconnect, because as a politician, you have the feeling that you need to know everything and at any moment, yeah.
So what does a typical evening for you look like after work?
By food, I go home. Home is my hotel. I go to my hotel, but before that, maybe I go to a little Italian restaurant or Thai restaurant. And then afterwards, sitting in front of BBC, CNN, or France 24.
And how often are you in Brussels compared to Strasbourg?
3 weeks per month we are in Brussels, and 1 week per month we are in Strasbourg.
Do you think the Greens will ever get the second MEP?
Oh, I hope. We were so close to have it, and yes, I hope.
And what would people never guess about your work?
I think the intensive rhythm of it.
Emotionally, what's the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge is to fight the destructive narrative of the far right.
And what has been your best moment so far?
The best moment, probably the elections in 2019, when we made our best score ever, near to 20%. And then Also, the elections in 2024, which were not easy to win.
Do young people underestimate the role of the EU?
I don't know. Some are perfectly aware and want even more Europe, and but some are not aware that without Europe, you could not have this choice of living, working where you want to be.
And what are you working on concretely right now?
Oh, I'm working a lot on public health, avoiding shortages of medicine. I'm working a lot on public transport, safety on the roads also, having more an efficient public transport, but in general also animal welfare. So avoiding also to have too much toxic pesticide in our food.
And why should the younger generations take interest in EU politics?
Because it's their future. Because only together we can get out of winners out of climate change, biodiversity loss, insecurity, etc.
Can you give an example of an EU decision that directly affects our daily lives?
But the daily life is a lot in the inner market, in the safety of the products, but also in the interoperability, that you have only one cable now to recharge your devices. Also, not to have toxic chemicals on toys for your children, for example.
Do you think Europe is moving fast enough on climate protection?
Oh, not at all. We need to put on the turbo there, if I may say so.
And what do negotiations behind closed doors look like?
Negotiation behind closed door, they should not be behind closed door. We owe transparency to the citizens, and behind closed door, I don't know. I try to communicate a lot on negotiations also because I owe it to the citizens.
And tell me, how much is the power of lobbyists?
They are omnipresent, that's true, but they are also, I mean, listening to Greenpeace or whatever, they are also lobbyists, so they are not all bad lobbyists, but we need transparency on who you see and why you see them.
How do you ensure this transparency?
We have a register for the lobbyists, and they need to subscribe there in order to have a meeting with me.
What's the EU's biggest challenge right now?
The biggest challenge is to fight disinformation, not to forget about climate change.
Has European unity become more difficult?
Oh yes, it has. It's more and more challenging because there are threats inside the EU too.
And what gives you hope?
What gives me hope is the next generation. What gives me hope is the beauty of the planet, that people get aware that we need to save this planet for the next generations. There is also a lot of hope. We tend to see only the glass half empty, but we should also focus some days on that the glass is half full. And crises are important moments to evolve.
Early mornings or late nights during plenary weeks?
In plenary week, it's early morning and late nights, both. Once I spoke only at 11:30 in the plenary in the evening, but that's part of the life in Strasbourg.
Most used word in the parliament?
Oh, right now, I think it's compromise.
Most overused political buzzword?
Competitiveness. Competitiveness, yes.
And your inbox, is it organized or chaotic?
My personal inbox is very chaotic. My professional one is good organized because I have a good team.
Are you having the window seat and the train on Strasbourg?
No, I don't like the window seat because there is always a cold wind coming out there, and I don't like that. But I look out of the window. Yeah.
The most intense debate you remember?
It's about the directive on the due diligence, protecting environment and people rights also when we are outside of Europe.
Do you think social media helps democracy or harms it?
There is a risk that the social media can also harm democracy because of this massive disinformation and AI and so on. But it's also a huge opportunity to create networks.
EU negotiations in one word?
Challenging, finding a compromise.
European youth in one word?
In what?
European youth.
Oh, leave no one behind, solidarity.
Why is voter turnout so important?
Because it's about their future, it's about our account, it's about the present, it's about the future, it's about participation. It's every vote counts.
Do enough people know that the parliament is directly elected?
Yeah, I think there's still people not knowing that. They think we are nominated by a government. Yeah, we still need to do better in communication.
What happens if citizens stop getting involved?
It's the end of democracy. It's the worst thing that can happen. It's when you give up on something. It's the worst thing for society, but also for the people.
Do you think disinformation is a real threat?
Disinformation is one of the biggest threats because it's not based on science. It's based on sometimes on people that try to manipulate you. Yes, so it's a big danger that we have to fight on every day.
How can young people become more involved?
Oh, just go on the street when you want to say something. Just do not give up on things you find not fair, you find not just.
Should the EU be addressed more strongly in schools?
Yes, 2-3 pages on EU is not enough. EU is the future and the present.
How important is solidarity between member states?
Cooperation and solidarity between member states is key in every sector, in the health sector, but also fighting the crisis. We need to stick together, not against each other.
Can the EU react quickly enough in crisis?
It showed that during the COVID-19, we were able to react quite quickly, but in other situations, we are too slow.
And has the EU grown stronger through crisis?
Yeah, crisis always make us get stronger when we get out of it.
Do you think democracy is safe in Europe?
There are threats also in Europe coming from certain member states, yes, that want to limit the freedom of press, for example, but we have to be aware of that, not closing our eyes.
How strong is your sense of responsibility when representing citizens?
Oh, I see it as a huge honor, as a chance, but also as a huge responsibility. And we also owe accountants, we need to be accountable for the citizens. Yeah, a huge responsibility.
Do you still remember your first vote here?
I don't remember what the vote was about, but I remember my university, yes.
Has politics changed you as a person?
Yes, politics maybe made me become more radical on certain things, because I see the urgency why we need to act to save the planet for the future generations.
And what motivates you on difficult days?
The beauty of the planet, the next generation, a smile of a child. Yeah, there are a lot of positive things also happening. So when I see on my daily life also solidarity between the people, how people help each other, that boosts me. But also listening to the next generation, to their demands. Yeah.
Do you think the EU is understood well enough?
No, I think people make it more complicated than it is, and they think it's very complex. And at the end of the day, it's not so complex. Once you understand what the Council, Commission, Parliament is, it's not so complex.
What would you change immediately tomorrow if you could?
I would apply consequently the polluter payers principle, that those who damage the environment, that those who damage human health need to pay for it. So tax the rich, and we have the money, so the ultra rich, we have the money then also for the ecological transition.
And what should young people demand more strongly from politics?
They should demand more social justice, which goes hand in hand also with climate change, I must say.
What's your message to first-time voters?
Every vote counts. You are important.
Europe in one word?
Solidarity.
The European Parliament in one word?
Yeah, there's a lot of diversity, and we try to be united in diversity.
Leadership means?
Courage and listening to the people.
Democracy means?
Participation.
And why should people care about what happens behind these walls?
Because it's their right to know. People have a right of transparency, because it's also their money that goes here in this institution. So they should open every door.
Well, thank you for your time, Tilly. I
Thank
see you have a meeting.
Yes, bye-bye. Have a
Bye.
meeting running up. Bye-bye.